Have you ever like had a situation happen to you that it blew your mind to the point all you can do is just laugh? Like all you could do was just simply laugh. Have you ever had that? What's up, family? It's 6:30 Thursday. We're back at it again. Welcome to the Anti-Negativity Network. And yeah, time to get a little sharper. Let's do it, okay? We back at it. Genesis chapter 21 is where we're going to be at today. But as we always do, let's get it started on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. So, I'm back at it again this week. Unfortunately, my wife not with me, but I'm sure she's chiming in. She will be chiming in. I want her to chime in. Even though she's not physically here with me, she's still with me. So, but look, man, chapter 21. Why do people look at soap operas? Like, I know I'm gonna date myself with this Guiding Light and Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, all them joints. I'm dating myself, but then up to date, y'all got I don't even know what's out nowadays, but this real fake housewives, whatever. Y'all know them things y'all be watching. All them soap operas, fake stuff. When you got a real soap opera right here, real life one right here, one that you can really relate to right here. We won't read this, but we're going to look at all of that other foolishness that's fake, but real right here. And we don't want to touch this. I'm telling you, there's some stuff up in here. You might want to read it. Chapter 21 is another one of those. So let's go ahead and dive into chapter 21 because chapter 21, man, I had to take some notes on this one because it's a lot in chapter 21. It's a ton in chapter 21. And each section of 21 we can talk about that by itself. So I'm going to try to surmise it and keep it down. But I get excited because there's so much. And see, chapter 21, he started off from the very beginning. The very beginning of chapter 21 is something that you should already, when you read this, the first thing in chapter 21, you should get excited. Because God is no respecter of persons. If he did it for one, he can do it for other. If he so choose to do for somebody else, he can do, which means if he so choose to do for you, he will. But also I would tell you this, if he said he gonna do it, it's a done deal. It's gonna happen. So if he told you, if he promised you something, you should be excited and just wait for, just expect it. Have a great expectation of it happening because it's gonna happen, right? And in this case right here, man, and I tried to prep y'all last week when I talked about Sarah, and we was talking about Abraham and Sarah last week in chapter 20. And yeah, Abraham did it again. Him and Sarah did it again, pimped out his wife, and they deceived Abimelech, right? Yeah, it was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong because there's nothing in chapter 20 that told you that Abraham or Sarah seek God first on how they should go at Abimelech. They did that on their own. They ain't seek God. They did that on their own. Okay. But God in his infinite mercy, looked out for them anyhow. He took care of them because he know what's down the road. And we can't hate on Abraham and Sarah because we can fill in the same blank ourselves with some of the things that we have done that we know we should not have done. We didn't seek God first. We did it on our own. And we was just as wrong as we could be. And we could have really screwed up if he hadn't stepped in our situation. So here we are, chapter 21, because chapter 20, they tried to abort them, their where they're supposed to be heading because of what they did. But God spared them, brought them through. And now here we're in chapter 21 because God said, Sarah, I'm going to bless you with a son. And now here it is, chapter 21. Here come Isaac. God said he's going to do it. It's a done deal. He did it. And the thing about this right here, which made Sarah just laugh, because like Sarah's like, I'm going to tell folk gonna learn about me having a child, and they ain't gonna do nothing but just laugh with me. because can't believe it. At the age of 90, I'm giving birth to a child. And now Abraham is another father at the age of 100. Abraham is a father at the age of 100, and Sarah is giving birth to a child at the age of 90. Some of y'all can't see that. You can't see that past 40. They 90 years and 100 years old with brand new parents. Go figure that, right? But if God said he's going to do it, guess what's going to happen? It's a done deal. It's going to happen. So it happened. So now here we got Isaac. And let me put a little note here. Abraham, if you go back chapter 17, he was given direction that he must make sure that the males are circumcised. He did that 8 days after Isaac was born. He made sure to get them circumcised. Okay. So he kept that covenant. So even despite him doing what he ain't had no business doing in chapter 20, he got back in line and he did exactly what he was supposed to be doing. And he followed through on what God told him to do, which is to make sure that you circumcise the boys. He did that. Okay. So he kept his promise. He kept the covenant. Okay. And we still practice that today. Okay. We still practice that today. Okay. But let me keep going because I get excited on that. But I got to get, but again, here they are at the age of 90, giving birth to a child. And you got Abraham now, another father at the age of 100. And so what I got to thinking about this right here, God is still in the business of blowing your mind. He's still in the blow your mind blessing business. He still can blow your mind. I can attest to that personally. He can still blow your mind. But there's a but to it. Because he can blow your mind. But I got to ask you a question. Where's your mustard seed? Where's your mustard seed? Mustard seed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That same mustard seed they talked about in Matthew 17:20. If you have the faith the size of a mustard seed. Now, mustard seed ain't big. Go Google it. You can see how small. Mustard seed is, your tip of your finger is enormous compared to one seed of a mustard seed. The size of a mustard seed is so small. That's all you need in chapter 17, verse 20 in Matthew. Just a mustard seed size of faith, and you could tell this mountain to move over there, and it will happen. The same mustard seed that they talked about in I had to write down because I don't want to. In Luke, there you go, Luke. In Luke chapter 13:19, that same mustard seed, he took that mustard seed, planted it, and all kinds of things grew. So where's your mustard seed? Where's your faith? Where's your belief? Because that's what you got to have. If you're going to trust him, or if you want him to blow your mind, give you that blow your mind blessing, you're going to have some faith. You're going to have to believe. You're going to have to trust. You're going to have to stop looking at your situation. You're going to have to stop looking at what you don't have. You're going to have to stop looking at what everybody else have, what everybody else doing, where everybody else at. Stop looking at where you're not. Stop looking at what you don't have. Stop looking at, I need this. You need God. You need trust in him. And then you need to move forward in him. Because you got to seek him first. You seek him first, then he going to direct your path. He going to show you where to go. He going to give you what you need. He going to make all of that happen. You trying to figure it out. He already done worked it out. Y'all done heard that before. But it's so true. Now, either you going to have faith or not. All you need is mustard seed. So where's your mustard seed? Where is it? Because that's what I got out of this right here. Mustard seed faith. Mustard seed faith. It blew their mind. They didn't believe it at first when they first heard that this was going to happen. But God improved himself so many times to them that it blew their mind to the point all they can do is just laugh. she got blessed with a son, which is what she always wanted. If you remember back in the day, she tried to make something happen using Hagar to get a child, and that blew up in her face. Why? Because she didn't seek him first. But God knew what the promise he had over her. He knew the promise he had for Abraham. So even though they tried to do it themselves and messed up, God said, I'm still going to bless you because I got you. I got something I'm going to do through you. And that's exactly what happened, right? And it's coming to fruition right here with the birth of Isaac. So Isaac is now here. Sarah is legit mama now. Okay? And so here we go. Now, I told you about the soap opera, right? This Bible is a soap opera. There's some soap opera moments up in here. Chapter 21 is one of those soap opera moments. And here we go with the soap opera. And I'm going to give my shout out to my wife on this one right here. Because she reminded me of this right here. You want to talk about a soap opera? Let's talk about blended families. Because that's exactly what you have right here in chapter 21. Because now Isaac is born. But guess who's still in the picture? Hagar and Ishmael. Now you remember there was already Sarah tried to get a child through Hagar, which was Ishmael. That blew up on her. That didn't work out well. Because you know, mamas are connected to their child. Literally and figuratively, right? And so Hagar won't trying to give it up. Okay? Hagar won't trying to give it up. And she didn't. That was her child. But now Sarah has a child. And I guess kids being kids, because they don't know what age they are, but kids being kids, Ishmael is making fun of Isaac. And mamas being mamas, they protective over their cubs. She won't have them. Sarah won't have them. So she let Abraham know he got to go. Get them up out of here. Don't mess with my child. So now we got this blended family dynamic going on. Didn't I tell you there's some drama, there's some soap opera moments up in here? Chapter 21. You want a soap opera, read chapter 21. Here you go. So now this ain't working out. So they got to get up out of here. So now Abraham feeling some kind of way because that's still his child. Ishmael is still his child. Okay? And there's a promise over Ishmael's life. But there's also a promise over Isaac's life as well. But mama ain't having that. Somebody got to go. And they gonna be the ones going because I ain't getting up out of my house. Ain't that what your mama said? So here we go. What's gonna happen? So Abraham, he in his feelings, no doubt, but God told him, look, do what your wife said do. So he set up shop, he give them some food, some water, send them on their way. They end up there in the wilderness. And here's the thing. I want you to get out of this as well. Here's the thing that you need to get out of this, though. So they were sent on their way. They out in the wilderness, and it gets so dire to the point where she puts him away because she can't even hear him. She don't even want to hear her son cry because it hurts her so much because she believes he's about to die. And so then the angel of the Lord shows up and says, which always trips me out. He asks the question, why are you crying? Now, like the angel of the Lord didn't know what was going on. But he knew what was going on. The angel knew what was going on. But sometimes we do the same thing. We already know the obvious, but we ask the question anyway, right? We ask the question because we don't want to make it look like we know. We want to make it look like you told me, right? But that's what they do. They ask that question, right? And so she let them know that, her child about to die. She can't stand it. And then the angel of the Lord reminds her, God hears the cry. He got you. He's going to make provision. So when you stuck out there in your wilderness situation, if God made a promise, regardless of what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it sounds like, regardless, his word would never return void. Not only in the Bible, but the word that he gives you. The promise on your life is going to take place. You just got to hold on. Where's your mustard seed? You might want to get that mustard seed and plant it in the ground and water it. It's coming forth. It's going to happen. And so when the angel of the Lord hears it, talks to it and say, okay, next thing you know, there's a well over there with some water. She runs over there, get the water. And next thing you know, life is flourishing now. Ishmael becomes a skillful, what is it? I mean, let me read the word because I don't want to tell you wrong. He was a skillful archer. Okay. And part of Abraham's descendants also came from Ishmael. That was the promise over Abraham's life that was also over Ishmael's life. So Ishmael couldn't die because of the promise over his life. So the promise over your life, that's why you thought, don't you realize that's the reason why you're still here? That accident was supposed to kill you. That sickness that you went through, that you was in the hospital for, was supposed to kill you. There were some things that you don't even know happened that was supposed to take you out, and guess what? You're still here. Man, you better give God some thanks for why you still breathing, because the promise over your life is not void. It's gonna happen. It didn't say you wouldn't go through some things, but the promise over your life is gonna happen. Nothing can happen that's gonna take you out until that happens. And that's what happens right here. Hagar thought her son was gonna die out there in the wilderness. And God stepped right into her situation again and blessed her son. And part of the descendants in this world today came from that moment right there. And why you don't think that can happen for you? Where's your mustard seed? You might want to go get that mustard seed. Find your mustard seed. If you lost it, go buy a new one. Go find a new one. And matter of fact, it don't even cost you anything. All you got to do is just touch this right here, read it a little bit, and build your faith up. It don't cost you nothing but belief in him. That's all it costs you. Believe in him. That's all it costs. And chapter 21 ends with, here we go. Abraham and Abimelech. They come back together again. And Abimelech is like, yo, evidently, despite the stuff you did, God's hand must be on you. God is still blessing you. He must be doing something in your life. Abimelech recognized that. And so while they're conversing and everything, next thing you know, Abraham lets them know, hey, look, man, some of your folk rolled up on my folk and took our well, took one of the wells, right? And Abimelech, like, I don't know anything about that, man. And why didn't you say something about that? Why you just saying something now? Why you ain't said something about that once before? We didn't say why he didn't, but maybe that's the reason why he dealt with Abimelech the way he did in chapter 20. Not saying it was right, but maybe because of the stuff he knew is the reason why he went at Abimelech the way he did. But through it all, they figured out, okay, look, let's squash this. We're going to make a peace treaty right here. And then this is where the well is, a well of oath named Beersheba. Read chapter 21. They built a well, they made an oath, and they called that the well of oath, which is Beersheba. That's the way that well comes from. Okay? So they made peace. Maybe there's somebody you might need to make peace with. Think about that. Pray about it. Ask God to show you so that you can make peace. And so then you can work on your faith. All you need is a mustard seed. That's it. Get that mustard seed. Plant that mustard seed. Watch it grow. Because that, whatever he said, it's going to happen. Get ready for it. Pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Go make it do what it do. I'm going to see you next week at 6:30. Love you.